Hi, my name is Addyson Gregor. I completed my undergrad at Bowling Green State University in 2019, and I'm now working on my doctorate of physical therapy at University of Toledo. Online school has been pretty tough so far. Right now, I should be at my first 4-week clinical, but that got canceled due to everything. Online classes are pretty tough. A lot of our stuff is lab-based, and obviously we can't meet together to complete those, so our schedule is a little bit different, and our classes are structured definitely different than what they would have been in person. Some of my professors will record stuff online and have office hours, and some will just lecture for 2 hours online. My day-to-day, I wake up and get to the computer. I'm probably there for a good 6 hours total. I'll go work out, and then I'm back at the computer studying, or if I don't feel like I have that much of a workload that day, I'm hanging out with my family. It's definitely nice to be at home back in Cincinnati rather than up at Toledo. The extra family time is nice, but I was also, since I was a first year, I was finally acclimated to my schedule and the course load, so it's just kind of threw a wrench in everything, but we're making it work, and we'll all get through.
Hi, my name is Ashton Pitzer, and I'm an elementary school teacher at a lower income school in northern Kentucky. I have the lovely privilege of every day I get to teach the most wonderful second and third graders. If I think about what all has this impacted my teaching, I really have to go back to the first day. I think we were told on Thursday officially, March 12th, that we would not be coming back to school till a certain amount of time. There were so many questions I had going on in my head. How was I going to get work to my students? How was I going to make sure that my students were eating? Because I'm in a lower income school, about 80% of our students receive free and reduced lunch, and that's just not including in my classroom. I have a lot of students that also receive Friday meal packets, which are like non-perishable food items that the student can eat throughout the weekend as well as throughout the next week. Because they're in a lower income school, they don't receive maybe what they need at home. So when going and talking about, all right, Thursday, on Friday, you are going to need to stay after school and gather as much information and as much paperwork as you can to send home with your students, I was a little overwhelmed, I'm going to be honest. I wasn't sure how I was going to do this. How was I going to be the most effective teacher that I had been dreaming about? And throughout the whole second half of the year, pretty much, how was I going to get what my students needed? I had a lot of doubt that I wasn't going to be able to provide what my students needed. When stepping back and just watching the whole process, my school's really done amazing things. They were able to provide breakfast and lunch and those Friday meal packets still to all the students that need them. Anyone that needed any help, my school has stepped up. Throughout the few years before this, we've gotten a lot of donations and a lot of sponsorships. So with that money, we were able to buy one-to-one iPads for each classroom. So when going into this thing, I was like, well, let's just do that. Let's just send the iPads home. But there was so much more than just sending an iPad home. Luckily, my school was able to provide those iPads to go home. There was a lot of work done before and after school for hours on the weekends. So on the Wednesday after all of this happened, students were able to come and pick up their iPads and pick up papers that the teachers had set up. I normally use my iPads what I thought to be pretty efficiently. We would do a Google Classroom. I would send them assignments on there maybe once every few weeks just so they could get it up, because I do have second graders and sometimes that is a whole new concept to them. Never in a million years did I think my students would be every day getting on to Google Classroom, looking at their assignments, doing the work that's on those. When we first started the whole virtual classroom, I was not getting a lot of responses. I wasn't have students logging on. I had a lot of students maybe log on for 3 seconds and then get off. I wasn't sure if I was engaging the students the right way. My team and I dived into different apps that we could possibly use, and one of the apps that we found was an app called Seesaw, and I think it is amazing. I cannot believe that what my students are doing. They're taking videos and taking pictures and drawing and writing on the actual document and then sending it back to me. Every day I end with like 45 different notifications, and it's not just notifications that are silly. Like, they are doing their work. Of course I love the silly ones. I love seeing their faces and all of their smiles, but they are so engaged into their work, and they're asking, can we do more of this? Can we keep going? And I can only imagine when we all get back into the classroom together, like what it is going to be like with this whole new virtual classroom. I can just integrate the technology and the papers, and I feel just build a whole new classroom, and I'm so excited to see how that happens. Yes, this quarantine has been awful. I live in Kentucky, like I said, and my whole family lives in Ohio. I've not gotten to see them. What you can do over the phone is one thing, but actually being in person. But when I think back and I reflect on how this has impacted my teaching, I can only think of great things. Yes, it is awful being away from my students, and I'm not going to get to end the year with them, but I get to look back and think the great learners and the great independent students and thinkers and problem solvers that they've become through this time. I can only imagine what it's going to be for years to come. So if I have to look at one positive thing, my students are going to do amazing things throughout their next years of school and throughout their entire life. Thank you.